an online broadcast, so then you will have an opportunity to watch Q&A session. If you have any questions, people who are in the hall, so raise your hands. You present yourself and then tell what media you're affiliated with and to who your question is. So then the next question raises hand after my thing. So and let me introduce the speakers and hope that they will have this short time for this press conference and will be ready to answer these all the questions. So Anatoly Aksakov, the chairman of the State Duma Committee on the Financial Market, and Tukulova Madina Maratovna, head of the Hub for Islamic Finance and Businesses of Astana International Financing Center, Kazakhstan. Thank you very much for participation. The first question to Anatoly Gennadievich: Can you tell what additional formulas would be introduced to the new law on Islamic financing? I wouldn't say that in the recent time we would introduce. I would rephrase my question. Do we really need that at that time? Any changes? So now we're accumulating experience and we're accumulating opinions on what should be done. The questions that were raised in this discussion, they are connected with the central bank activity, maybe the government of. So we have some legal acts that would improve the work of the organization. That's taken into consideration Islamic instruments in their activity. So that's why we accumulate offers, and some of them are very interesting. For instance, standards that are connected with standards. These standards do not require any legislative decisions based on the Association of Banks of Russia. So this to work out these standards. So Sberbank, Akbars, and other banks are participants of it. So they already practice Islamic financing instruments. So they already have accumulated experience, and they can use this experience. So when I offer to other participants, non-banking but the representatives of business to enter this association and to have some subsidized conditions for them, so they would introduce and offer their views on working out new standards, and we hope that based on this experience would make a new committee that would introduce new conditions that would face the and that would be accepted by the community. So the next question to Madina Takulova. It might seem a bit unprofessional, but speaking about Islamic banking, people who do not use Islamic and who are not Muslims, so what are the benefits for people who are not of Islam beliefs? So if they use any other banking options there. So you probably mentioned the first myth about Islamic banking. So there is a stereotype that not everyone can use this banking system, but it's not true. So Islamic banking, Islamic financing, when we talk about that, we talk about the real economic sector development. So this mechanism and products that are provided by Islamic banking, they talk about the necessity of assets and the necessity of division and hedging risks and splitting the financing between the participants. So Islamic banking, they are open to everyone. They are extra instruments. So if you think that these tools are applicable, so you can use them. If you think that they're profitable, you just choose this way. For Islamic banking instruments, including the thing that Muslims they need to use Islamic financing, so that's why development in the country where the majority of population are Muslims, it's a must. Thank you very much for your answer. So I would like to ask Anatoly Gennadievich Aksakov. So are you planning to spread the number of regions that would take part in this experimental program? So are there any deadlines there? I would say that on our official position, no one is trying to expand this program, so we haven't made this decision. But today, like within the discussion, so there were some offers to spread this program. So some heads of Ingushetia, because in Chechen we already implement this experiment, and Ingushetia and Chechen Republic they're neighbors and they have a quite close relations between each other. And they also think that they should take part in this experiment. So I'm representing Chuvashia region, and we have a quite tight cooperation with business, with authorities of the republic. So they are also interested in to try this instrument, to try and implement it on some projects. For example, we have Badrits district, where a lot of people who are Muslims use it, and they are ready to try and to use it for investment purposes. So I offered to include Chuvashia region in the experiments. So we really hope that central bank, regulator, and representatives of the governments would hear it, and we really hope that the number of partners would expand. So, and now we need to gather data to collect it all, and we do really hope that these 4 regions that have this experimental program, so that they set up an example for other regions, and that would be a signal, because we think that Tatarstan is in front of it, on the edge of it. So we do really think that like within 2 years we can close this experimental bad mark on this program, and we would make Islamic banking as an ordinary part of the banking system. So we have a question from the lecture hall. So please, so Rita Shepelevskaya, TASS agency. So Mr. Aksakov, you said that next week you're gonna send some regulations to your division. So when you're gonna do that? And also we touched upon the topic of frauds in Islamic banking. So is it a preventive measure? Yeah, that was a preventive offer. So I don't have this like. Well, I've been working for this in the banking sphere for 35 years. I worked with financing markets for a long time. So unfortunately, there were a lot of cases of frauds and use of indecent use of these mechanical and financing mechanisms. So that's why partnering tools in indecent for indecent aims should be controlled and should be stopped. So that's why we are trying to study and to set up standards, and there should be people who have a great reputation, and they would check the whether these instruments meet their requirements and the way how participants use these instruments. I think that they would be developed on the base of Bank Association of Russian Federation, and we think that these activities would be working in coordination with the Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance of the Russian Federation. Are you satisfied with the answer? Thank you very much. So, Madina Maratovna, the question to you, while we were waiting for questions from the hall. So, how would you estimate the perspectives in cooperation with Russia, and especially with the Republic of Tatarstan, and what they're trying to implement in the nearest future? We develop a new platform, International Business Center of Astana. So to attract investments through this platform, we're not talking only about investment in Kazakhstan, but we possess ourselves as regional and national centers. So that's why we built up a platform that has a special legislation for specific Islamic tools, and also we're ready to issue a new Islamic banking instruments that allows to attract a lot of finances. That is why our interests lies in the area of financing sector, and also to exchange our experience that we have already collected in Kazakhstan, and to exchange new trends and tendencies not only in Russia but as well in CIS countries and Central Asia region, so to work in cooperation and to develop the industry of Islamic financing in our region. Could you please tell us, in your region, speaking about partnering crediting, so is it a developed area? Can you share with Tatarstan your experience? Yeah, it goes without saying that we are ready. Well, Islamic financing have been developing in Kazakhstan from 2009, and in 2018, when we opened our Center of Islamic Banking, we are developing these instruments. We have several companies. Well, we have Islamic FinTech and several banks that follow the regulations of the Islamic banking. So we really receive a great number of assets in it, and we are ready to share experience. So we're actively interacting with our colleagues from Tatarstan and from the Bank of Russia. So the same question I would address to Anatoly Gennadievich. So do you see the perspectives of such kind of crediting in Russia, and do we need to correct the legislative system?
Yes, the crediting exists in Russia, but still not very well developed. And it is connected with the fact that, let's say, the normative documentation. I can't say about laws. We have the law, but and those criticizing law, no critics with respect to law was heard, but the risk distribution implies use of syndicates because you shouldn't send all the money to the project. You invest just a share, and thus the risks are distributed through this scheme. And frankly speaking, I think it is necessary to analyze the situation in the market of certified crediting and understand what are the obstacles for the business to unite in many projects, and in which way can we implement more projects through distributing risks. That's a good note, yeah. And we should involve certain incentives in this process. Well, dozens of trillions of rubles are in the bank accounts, and these are money belonging to companies, to businesses, and if we involve certain incentives, we can send these trillions of rubles for this type of crediting, and probably some warranties from the government are also needed. It's my just fantasy, because it's up to you. Of course, the government should not be 100% warranty, because it is business who is supposed to take decision, but business should have incentives, and we should analyze what incentives should be and make it more profitable to circulate money than to keep it in the bank deposits. What are the ways you stimulate business? Are there any warranties from the government? Yes, of course, there is a certain legislation already developed, and what is very important here. The market should operate itself, and the marketplace should not rely very much on the government. It's important to open certain financial institutes and use certain financial. We need to use certain financial instruments and open financial institutes, and thus we enjoy certain government support. And we also have exemption from the natural person's income tax and certain other benefits. And as for, moreover, the Act of Currency Regulation is adopted in Kazakhstan by the central bank and agency for currency regulation. So Islamic banks can offer its services to Kazakhstan in the local currency. And thus we can see that there is a rather strong support offered by the government in our country. But the business must be active itself, and then the government will support it. Yeah, thank you very much for your answer. And one should understand that there are risks in the market. Yes, I'd like to add one more thing. When you receive profit, you pay taxes on these profits. But if you send this, profit as an investment, you are exempted, for example, from the tax. Then you enjoy an incentive to invest in your business, not to send your money to the bank account. This is this is the stimulus, the way how we can stimulate business. I see there are questions from the audience. Alexander Davidova, Tatar Inform. Anatoly Gennadievich, the question is to you. What is your assessment of time? How much time would it take to implement this Islamic banking system in Russia? I hear a lot of critics, but the process is going on very quickly, and all the participants altogether hundreds of millions of rubles is the volume of the market here, and we should just prove people, show them that thanks to the team and government of the Republic of Tatarstan, we can prove that it is efficient. And I think that at the beginning of the next year, we'll start discussions which will involve prolongation of the law. You should not expect for the quick results. Just let's take the example of Turkey or Malaysia. Malaysia adopted certain legislation and started developing this sphere, but it happened in the 90s. So certain time has already passed, but the volume of Islamic banks now there is over 40%. And thus you can see that there are certain mechanisms and a certain procedure of development, and it should be followed in this way. The success will be achieved. Thank you very much for your time, for your answers, and that's why I think we can finish our press conference today. And I know that your program today is very thick, and I'd like to thank you very much. Let's applaud our speakers for giving their time.